Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's PCN Marquee Matchup. It should be a fantastic cup tie for us here tonight. It is Manchester City against New York City Football Club, and two teams owned by the same parent company. So this is going to be a very spicy one, isn't this one, Adam?
Yes, then I told him the orange goes outside of the. Oh yeah, Scrata, we are ready for this game tonight. How you feeling, Scrata? Feeling good?
You're feeling
I was totally ready there. I was
You're feeling
totally ready there.
fantastic. You came in right on cue, right when I needed you.
Right there at the moment, gotta keep it fresh and lively for the people at home. So hopefully we can get this game started as soon as possible for everyone. It would also be nice if these guys were streaming, Scrata. I think that would be very nice.
Yeah, Maestro, if you're listening, if you haven't done so yet, if you could start your
Both of
stream, we
them
will be
Yeah, we
relying on
will.
you.
are
You will be the
showing-
quarterback and the engine, the mitochondria of tonight's stream.
Get it going, TB12. Get it going.
Two teams somewhat on opposite sides of the Super League spectrum. Manchester City down in 7th place. I say down. That's not a very
Yeah, dude. Yeah, way down
not a
there.
very steep
Yeah.
not a
Imagine
very
being down
steep
to
decline.
7.
But 7 places below that, NYC find themselves in 14th. But they're still, at least for now, somewhat safe from the relegation battles happening down at the bottom. So
Hashtag
find
save the world,
themselves-
baby.
hashtag save the world, hashtag save LA, good lord.
Nah,
We won't get into that. But in terms of a League Cup match, Adam, none of that matters here.
No, it will not. It is going to be League Cup one-off. So, I think if I say this correctly, I'm pretty sure my team lost to NYC here. Pretty handily, I should say. So, I expect a lot from this NYC team. Maybe, just making a cup run. Obviously, wouldn't say Super Cup's out of the question. Man City is obviously in a much better position to be qualifying for that. But, NYC, trying to make a push, try to win something here in this cup run. And I think you're trying to coordinate getting these streams going because I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Yeah, it seems like the only thing we've been provided is a Twitch link. So if things do get slightly out of order, we do apologize. We will do the absolute 110% best that we can, but we do have to work with what we've got.
Yeah, that happens when we have to reschedule 3 marquee matchups.
Easy. Before we get into that, let's first get into the Manchester City lineup. 3-5-2 that Isco puts out for his side. Graphics starting in net, and Belcatraz making the start at center back. Not his natural position, but he can play there. Gerard in the middle of that back three with Walker on the right. Vallejos and Criminal Vidal in the middle. Cage Technique, Slick Joey on the flanks. Golden Panda or Isco God, depending on who you ask. Stride and Maestro up top, and that is an attack that is not to be overlooked, Adam.
Yeah, not to be overlooked at all. My man Cage going to be doing some big things on the wing. I think that'll be my my standout player. I think for this matchup here. Graphics, hopping in net. Usually I would see him as a center back. See him more as a center back, but I guess he's just moved full time into the goalie role. So, Strada, you know a lot about that move, I guess. But I think Stride's going to be I would say Stride, Maestro, and Panda. That front three is going to be pretty deadly going forward.
Funny story about Graphics. The first time I met him, he was a goalkeeper. So
there you go. He went goalie, center back goalie.
That was some time ago, actually, about 2 years ago, maybe. Anyway,
there you go.
Yeah, a little bit of reminiscing on the marquee matchup. We always love to see it. But without further ado, into the New York City lineup. 3-5-2 from them as well. Leaf Furfit getting the start in goal. Darth Malice, Markiplier, I guess that's how you say it. And Nike V8 along the back three. Avis, Diego, the defensive midfielders. They call him just the GOAT on the left side of the midfield with Jose Banks on the right. Ramirez down the middle. Grimaldo and Griezmann up top. And it's a very balanced side, this New York City team. There's not really one player that really sticks out like a sore thumb, but there's definitely plenty of talent to go around in this team, and Nike seems to have done very well to spread out his resources in a way to not overcommit to one area. he's filled in 11 positions with some pretty good Super League talent here.
Yeah, no, I would say the instant names that pop out to me are obviously Nike. I played with him on the California side, so it was good times having him in that back line. I think we were having him more in a center back role, but I mean, playing the LCB, I'm sure he can do it. But yeah, maybe some names that aren't familiar, to our Twitch chat at home and everyone here around. But I mean, they're looking to try to figure something out, try to make a good run in here in the second half of the season.
Well, I believe we are trying to get things underway somewhat quickly. We did have to start on a bit of a delay. EA were just not cooperating apparently with anybody tonight, so we're doing it the best we can to get things rolling for you here. Will, I don't know if we have an update from either manager on how things are going on that end.
I did just tell them they're ready to, we're good to go.
Fantastic. But obviously, with it being a cup match, should we need extra time, we will use it. Should we need penalties, we will use it as well, Adam.
We love a PK shootout, baby.
We could see.
We do love them.
We could potentially see 120 minutes. So when we get to your predictions in a second, definitely keep that in the back of your head. We should be getting underway shortly, but Adam, a Manchester City team and a New York City team should be. So we've received a new stream link. Fantastic. Cage Technique, absolute lad from you.
The man cave.
Cage coming in clutch. As we are loading in here, Adam, I'm going to stop what I was going to say, and now I will go ahead and get your prediction.
I'm gonna go Man City, just out and out with it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Someone said hat trick for Stride, which I wouldn't be surprised about either, because Stride likes to do some crazy stuff here and there.
Yeah.
He'll figure something.
Yeah.
Out.
I'm gonna go 3-1 to Manchester City.
I think. And while we get in this game, we should also keep an eye on other matchups across the league. I should say in the League Cup, round of 16. Getting down to the nitty gritty now.
Adam, if you want to be our eye in the sky for that, you can be my guest. We are about to get underway. New York City in their sky blues, Manchester City in their black kits, and we are underway here in this League Cup. And it's New York City. They're bringing out the ball first. Goat on that near side here. Correction, the far side, just dribbling that one out of play slightly. It's Slick Joey now trying to find his footing. Can't quite get it, but manages to win his side a throw in. It's Manchester City that are trying to get on the ball very quickly, but Goat is not going to have any of that, and he's going to bang it off of Slick Joey out of play. Another throw in as they hand it straight back.
Just play the 90 minutes here. Might as well, right?
You're right. He's going now trying to find Stride. Earth Malice able to get there to boot that one well clear. First little inroads for Manchester City, and they might find it again here through Golden Panda. Dribbling on the edge of the box, trying to whip that one into the penalty spot. It might still fall for Manchester City player Relief Ferret. Able to get off his line very quickly to claim that one. But he simply hands it back to Manchester City, and they will recycle and try to mount yet another attack. Maestro banging that off of this is ankle. This one's switched around here. Cage into Gerard Vidal. Back into Cage, into Stride, who is onside there. Stride, who is not onside on this occasion. This one booted along. Belcatraz able to get there. Diego now into Ramirez. Is going to hand that one off to Vis. And New York City are going to try and enjoy a little bit of possession before it was tackled out of play by Slick Joey, who's done more defending on that right side of the pitch than he has attacking yet so far. But Ramirez now into Goat, who looks to find someone on the edge of the area. There's no one home, and Vis trying to chip that one over his head. It didn't quite work. He bounced it off his noggin, but was able to bring it under control in the end. And New York City are enjoying themselves a little bit of possession here, nearly 15 minutes into this marquee matchup for the League Cup. Manchester City bringing this one forward once more. Maestro looking to find Joey. This is the first time that we've seen Joey in the attack, and Vallejos now into Golden Panda. Nike is there to clear that one away. You could see the onrush of Manchester City players swarming forward. No one was able to get a toe on it in the end, but they are back here. Golden Panda trying to find his way through, trying to find a pass, does find a pass into Maestro. Some fancy footwork. Goat able to step into him and take that off. And can New York City counter here? Manchester City do have numbers back, and we will wave play on from that foul. And Ramirez is going to be tackled from behind, and Slick Joey, who won it for a second, is going to dribble that one out of play. New York City back on the ball once more, and Goat has seen a lot of action down that far side, and it has been a very eventful first 22 minutes for him. Can't really say the same, Adam, for the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, no, it's pretty empty on this side of the pitch. That was my standout player is going to be Cage. Hasn't gotten the ball much, but I mean, if they try to, I think both teams should be identifying that at this stage in the game. Try to get the full field into active modes, I guess. But here we go, Stride coming down the side.
Cage now had passed it into his manager. Diego was able to take it off of him. Jose bangs now into Ramirez, who checks up and will allow New York to simply have a little possession here before they come back for another attack. And Jose bangs out to Diego into Ramirez. Ramirez finding Grimaldo, can't find any pass through. He was stood up near the edge of the area, and that might allow Manchester City to come back down the pitch. Here comes Maestro. What sort of fancy footwork can we find from the magician on the right-hand side of the Manchester City attack? It didn't happen that time, but we still have nearly an hour to see some sort of spectacular work of art from him. Cage now trying to chip that one over for Stride. It may still fall for Stride. Darth Malice able to clear that one away. And it hasn't seemed very convincing for Manchester City. Slick Joey actually gets on the end of that one, but it wasn't really directed with much force, but it hasn't seemed very threatening from Manchester City. A lot of half chances.
Yeah, a lot of half chances, but right now with that front three, obviously going to try to get something figured out as quick as possible. But I mean, NYC's doing a great job of defending them. They're pretty much collapsing the middle, not allowing Stride or Maestro to get those fancy dribbles that they like to pull off here and there, closing them down nice and quick.
Well, Grimaldo was trying to find his way through, didn't in the end, and Vidal now with the ball for Manchester City. Into Maestro, back to Vidal, looking for Stride, and New York City able to escape once more. Vidal back on the ball. Cage chipping this one over the top for Stride. Can Stride shake his man? He does ever so slightly, but Darth Malice was able to recover from that. But poor pass has handed that one straight back to Manchester City. Maestro now looking for Stride again. And New York City able to clear that one away once more. They can't really seem to get out of their own half. They've been pinned in, have New York City for about the past 10 minutes here. As Diego trying to find his way out, still can't find his way out. And now Vis stepping into that one. Can they make inroads into the Manchester City half? It looks like they finally have. Can they make threatening inroads is the real question. Is that man on side? It looks like he is. Jose bangs. He's going to bang that one off of Walker. And New York City could potentially take advantage of the corner kick. It's the first we've seen from either side. They look like they might try and go short here. This is going to swing this one all the way to the back post. Walker's going to be there. Jose bangs, tried to bring it down through his chest, and Vallejos ends up with it. And now Stride might be away, but he has plenty of resistance on his way. Golden Panda able to take that one and tries to find a pass, looking for Stride over the top, but Nike there to boot that one away. And we are right back where we were only 5 minutes ago, Adam, with 2 minutes of added time. And it's Manchester City who look like they're going to close out the half and the remaining minutes in the New York City defensive half for the pitch.
It seems like we've been parked here for
There it
the last few IRL minutes.
Just getting down that wing,
That is the end of the first half. These numbers are going to be, right as we assumed they would be. Manchester City with a minuscule amount more possession. No shots so far for New York, and that is more or less been the tale of the first 45, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, the attack for Manchester City's been good enough to hold the ball on their own. The other side of the field, defense hasn't been called upon too much, but when they have, obviously, 0 shots for 45 minutes. Can they keep it going for the next 45? We'll have to wait and see. But for sure, Manchester City's going to have to try to get a goal here pretty quick. They don't want this to, eke out going kind of late, kind of want to get this done and dusted with if you're Manchester City.
Well, if you're in New York, are you just trying to see if you can get this to penalties?
You're trying to shoot. That's what you're trying to do. Trying to figure out what the B button is, and we'll see in this next 45 if they figure it out.
They have 45 minutes, and if things hold level, they'll have 30 more after that, and they are the first ones on the ball here in the start of the second half, as Vistas can actually find Jose Bangs over the top cage with a great tackle to take that one away from him. Stride now back to Panda, into Maestro. They seem to be willing to take their time, Manchester City. They don't seem to really want to rush their attacks and give up costly possession. Stride might be able to spin his defender. He likes not to. And maybe a little miscommunication between the Manchester City strikers, Adam.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean by they're taking their time. But once they get into that final, I want to call it final third. Once they get into the 18-yard box, that seems to where the attack is failing. They can't get that final pass. Just what we saw there, Stride try to chip some to Maestro, but just different page. So maybe they can get that figured out in the next 40-ish minutes.
Panda might have Stride through here. It is going to be Stride through. The goalkeeper stays on his line. What can Stride do from this position? Around one defender, trying to go around two, and Leaf is there to just simply collapse on the ball and not allow any more threat to his
Stride
goal.
dribbles, man. He knew he wanted to pull it off. He sold one, completely put him on skates. The second one just couldn't get it past. Maybe try to get a shot off on the next one.
Cage with a great bit of footwork. It didn't quite work out in the end, but it nearly did. Gerard able to simply step that one out of play and end any sort of threat that New York City had, even to the Manchester City defensive third there. Should you see a heat map, this one was looking to get played over the top. Belcatraz is there to meet it. That one's going to be shown straight to go into Grimaldo. Grimaldo with a shot, and Graphics with a fantastic save. It is near post.
Called upon. That was a terrible giveaway from the center back there. Allowed NYC to get their first shot of the game, 60 minutes in, but Graphics comes up.
Just looking to float this one in. Gerard just nodding that one behind for another New York corner. They're starting to warm to the task, aren't they, Adam?
Trying to get it figured out, trying to get past this defensive line. We're not able to do it at all, really, in the first early signs is pretty good, but they need to figure it out pretty quick, because now you're in the 60th minute looking forward.
Oh, Ronaldo trying to turn Belcatraz. It didn't really work out. Belcatraz holding his ground, booting that one away.
I will say, despite the differences in how this game is flowing and things like that, NYC have had a pretty good season, I think, in most people's book. I don't think many people were placing them as an 11th place team in the league, and they're doing really well to have stayed there up into the just past the halfway point.
They're going to not only advance farther up the Super League table, but advance a little bit farther up the pitch. That one, well, just as I say that, given straight to Joey, who finds Fallejos, but it didn't right work out. Grimaldo trying to find Jose Bangs, I believe it was, and Diego with a great bit of composure, able to step to that attacker, and Vallejos back on the ball, able to make amends for his previous mistake. Can stride into Panda. Can Manchester City find their way through here in regulation time? They only have just over 20 minutes to do so. Vallejos now into Panda, who has Cage over on the far side, but couldn't find him in the end. Grimaldo is there to get it and actually takes the ball off of Ramirez, and Ramirez trying to hassle Belcatraz, but it didn't really work out for him in the end. Panda now into stride, over to Vidal, into Vallejos, and Vallejos there stood up. And it's right here, Adam, where the threat to the New York goal just seems to end.
Yeah, no, that defense has been collapsing in that middle. They're not letting anything into that 18-yard, what would we call the most dangerous situation? Stride, on that through ball, cut right past the center back. But I mean, besides that, you haven't really seen much. A lot of the attacks come from the wing, trying to find something inside. I think the key to success might try Isco Disco, trying to get him some possession of the ball right at that top box and finding Strider Maestro up the middle.
We've seen Isco with a lot of possession. That one nearly got through. Belkatraz was there to boot it away. We've seen Isco with a lot of possession, but he hasn't really been able to do anything with it. The New York City defense has just simply said, right, you can dribble the ball. You're not going to have anyone to pass to.
Right there, they try to get him the ball, but it's just quickly dispossessed. So, yeah, this NYC defense is absolutely right now what's keeping them. It's going to be, it might just come down to the one goal now that we get towards these final 13 minutes.
This one's booted long. New York City are going to be on the end of this one. Jose Bangs only has Belkatraz to beat. He only has the goalkeeper to beat. He's put it in the back of the net. New York City are on top here in the League Cup, and they've done it very, very late. Manchester City with only about 10 minutes to recover. 1-0 to New York.
Playing striker for NYC. He got him on the counter, just nose up. Man City trying to press, but NYC might begin the upset here of the 10 minutes, as you said. Can Man City respond? It's going to be a tall task now, trying to break down his defense.
Well, look, Joey trying to get in behind here. It's only their second shot of the entire game, and it finds the back of the net. Maestro trying to find his manager. Can't quite find him, and they might try to play it over the top again. Belkatraz able to be there this time after having a very, very good game. The middle center back for Manchester City. The one just getting past him, as you can see him again there. He seems to be the only one back. It might be. And Isco has told his defenders, right, we're down. We need a goal. Get forward, but they might concede another here. Jose Bangs now on the ball. Over to Ovix. Cage technique is tackled very, very hard from behind.
Man City needs this goal for extra. And with extra time looming, can we see a result that we just saw play out a couple minutes ago? Valencia going through into the League Cup after extra time, 1-0 over Arsenal. So Man City trying to equalize this right now.
Cage into Stride, who's onside, whipping it in the middle. New York City holding tall for now. Cage technique into Maestro, now Stride, looking for all the way over the top, and Nike heading that
center
one
back
in
on center
behind.
back. Oh,
3
so
minutes
lucky.
added on, 3 minutes for Manchester City to save themselves in the League Cup. And they have a corner here. The center back is actually on it. I figured they might do that. It will be Maestro that takes the corner, looking for anyone in the middle. Can they? It's Jared. It's Belkatraz, and Nike able to.
It's a huge save. The goal, he got it with. Cage gets something in here. Center backs are in there.
Trying to whip it in. Gerard into Vidal. Vidal now Panda. Nike blocks the shot. Panda again for
save.
Able
That's
to
gonna
make
be
the
it,
save.
I
The
think.
3 minutes have elapsed, and that is it. New York City have completed the upset. They are through into the further rounds of the League Cup. I don't know how to.
Into the round of 16. That is the round that you were thinking of. Or sorry, not the round of 16. They're through the round of 16 to the quarterfinals. That is
To the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how to describe that performance other than resilient, Adam.
I mean, very resilient. Defense was absolutely locked down. Not surprised from Nike's side. Very solid center back in his own right. Coming up at the end there, goalie with a huge save between the legs. Thought that center back was just going to turn and shoot, but he actually tried to place his shot. So, I mean, I give him props for that. Pretty composed on the ball for center back there. Failed it in the end. Nike got the clearance. Just very, very unlucky all around for Man City. Did have the just couldn't figure out that last attack inside the.
Well, that and it's probably one of the very well the bigger upsets, at least that I've seen on the Marquee Matchup in some time. I don't think that we expected it to really go that way. I had 3-1. I think Adam had 2-0 really.
I had 2-1. Yeah.
I
2-1.
definitely had 1-0 to New York City FC.
Well, that's why we don't ask
definitely
you
had
anymore.
that.
That's why we don't ask you anymore. Anyway,
Another big upset coming down in the League Cup. I don't know if you've seen this result. Chelsea losing on penalties to Manchester United 5-3. So another huge upset coming.
Did that one finish 0-0 by any chance?
I finished 1-1. So
Wow.
who knows if it finished 1-1 after 90 or after extra time, but that's the only result along with the Valencia 1-0 after extra time scoreline that has been reported. Still waiting on a couple.
I guess the parking brake broke in front of the Manchester United goal. But anyways, Adam, unless you want to kind of be score center for the rest of
I mean, that's the only two left in there, so I don't know. At all the managers, tell them to put their scores in. Oh, there you go. Real Madrid 1-0 over Galaxy. That's another scoreline.
Will, before we close things out, anything to add? I believe we should be seeing something soon here this week.
Yeah, I'm working on Team of the Week right now. We're trying to get those votes done and get the graphics done, get the write-ups, all that stuff for you guys. Also, we're working on a way to get the podcast over to YouTube. Shouldn't be a problem. We should have that done here soon. And all of these that should be going over to YouTube as well. Still working on getting access, all that sort of thing. But also, we're going to have a Plays of the Week come out again. So that's going to be coming out this week as well. And put in your stats. Don't cheat. That's it.
Yikes. Want to say a name there?
I think you heard that here first.
Should I just throw a name in there? I don't know anyone.
I think.
Hey, Vape, don't cheat. There you go. Easy.
Easy. Easy. Got it. Anyways, for myself, for Adam, and for Will, who steps on hot coals in order to get this thing to work, even though that people have canceled on him 3 weeks in a row, we still managed to get things running. It's like Will goes out for a date and he gets stood up on a date. It's been 3 weeks in a row. Don't stand Will up on dates. Just go with the marquee matchup. For myself, for Adam, for Will, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you guys on Sunday.
Sink to your heart.